think today it's time that we did a little update on all the things that we've got growing at the moment and see how everything's progressing. So let's take a look. So first up, spring onions. We multi-sowed those, and if you remember the original batch, they all got dug up by a mouse, so I had to reseed these again, but it's all good. It weren't too long ago, and you can see that they're all up now and they're looking quite good. So multi-sown spring onions pretty much ready to go out now, and we potted on a few as tomato plants, and since we've put them in these bigger pots, you can see that they're doing a lot better now. And they're the outdoor girl tomato plants, which will be going outdoors quite soon. We also pricked out a few pepper plants, and they were quite small when we did them, considering it's probably only about 10 days ago since you last saw them, but they are starting to come on quite well now. So it'll not be long before we're taking them out of this and moving these into 9cm pots as well, because peppers take so long to grow. We need to get them going as soon as possible, with us having such a short summer. And we have sweet corn, mini pops, baby sweet corns that grow to about 3 inches long. And we're going to be putting these in as containers in that container garden. They're coming on alright as well. These are those hot lemon drop chili peppers. So at some point they'll be getting moved on. I think we're going to do these in pots so we can move them in and out when we need to, just in case it drops cold, because they're not very cold tolerant. We thought we'd try a few microgreens as well this week, and that's what they look like at the moment after just a few days. You can see how we densely planted these. I also pricked out and moved on a load of tomato plants. There's 40 tomato plants in this, and they are doing quite well now. They were only tiny when we put them in here, but they're getting to a point already where they probably need to come out and be moved on again, and they're gardener's delight, those ones. We've got another tray of those petit pois peas, doing okay. We didn't get 100% germination from these, but there's still quite a few in there, so perfectly happy with that. We also moved on some sunspot dwarf sunflowers, and they seem a lot happier in these bigger pots. They've come on quite a bit, as opposed to the ones that we left in these little pots for a bit longer. So you can see the difference there straight away. So that was worth doing. Also, we've got some cucumber plants. They've just started to get the true leaves, so that's all good. And these are those Market More, so these are outdoor cucumber plants. Obviously they'll be going in container garden as well. We pricked out a lot from this quite recently, and what we left in is now growing bigger and bigger, so we're going to have to get these out and put them somewhere as well. But you can never have enough spinach, can you? Because once we get to the height of summer, unfortunately spinach bolts. It doesn't like to be hot, it prefers the cooler weather. So we'll get these sorted out as soon as we can. And here we've got more tomato plants. Again, they've been moved on and they're doing a bit better now. So we've got money makers in there. There's about 20 in that. And these ones that are Alicante. So the other tray had 40 Gardener's Delights in. So I've got 80 tomato plants. I don't know why I need 80 tomato plants. I just don't like throwing them away once they've germinated, I guess. And this is that spring onion. We cut that and only left an inch above the white bulb. We cut all the greens off, and then we popped it in a jar of water, and all the greens have grown back virtually. So that's pretty good. Multi-Sewn Beetroot. Probably about 4 to 5 plants in each cell. We pricked these out quite recently because there was a concern that with them being in the tiny cells, they would start to stretch a little bit too much, and then it would be more difficult to move them on. So we did these a few days ago, and they're looking really well. So we're going to have to think where we're going to put these as well, because I have already got beetroot in the garden and they still look really good. So they were planted outside in one of raised beds. I think it was probably midsummer we popped those in, and like I said, they've stood out there all through that winter, been buried in snow, and then they've sprung back up, and we've got a nice little harvest of beetroot still. So obviously these are going to be worth moving on, and we might try some of these as well in a container and see what happens, because we can either plant these in a container and wait for them to expand, because they will just push each other apart as they grow, or we could put quite a few into a small container and then just harvest the beet leaves for salads. So you've got two choices there. And of course we've got us pansies as well. These were all really tangled together, and we'd only did these quite recent, but we left them in the pack a little bit too long and they was getting a bit root bound, but we did manage to separate some off, so we've still got 12 plants anyway at the moment to get put out in garden for a bit of colour through summer. Although it is a little bit late in season, I did plant some more pepper seeds. I soaked them in tea first because that helps them germinate quicker, so just soaked them overnight in a weak tea solution, and they've all started coming up now, so hopefully now the sun's out they'll grow a bit quicker, and maybe we can get some of these growing on and planted in containers as well. And then down here we've got a solitary little tomato plant. We popped it in just to see how it would cope. It is in the greenhouse and it is called an outdoor girl, and it is trying to grow, but we've had a couple of cold spells recently, so now that the temperatures seem like they're going to be going back up through the night, maybe this will get a burst of growth on. And we've got some strawberries that's come back through now as well, which is really good, because there was nothing showing in here only a few weeks ago. We did put strawberries in, but they all really died back to nothing. And now you can see that they're coming on really well. And this was also flowerless only a week or so ago, and this is a dwarf pear tree, and now we've had a couple of weeks of warmer weather and a bit of sun, it started to come into full flower, so hopefully we'll get some pears off that this year. Everything in the container garden is looking really well too. I mean, these lettuces look amazing, and to be fair, we can start harvesting leaves off them if we want to. The onions are doing fine. Carrots are doing okay, but as we all know, carrots grow really slow. We put these in containers because they're the Royal Chantenay's, and they're short stubby carrots, so perfect in there. And then we've got some spring onions we planted that's coming along nicely as well. And that strawberry tower that we made only a few days ago, it looks like the strawberries are taking hold a little bit, and now we just want to wait until we can get some fruit from it. And I've also added a blueberry to container garden as well. Seems like there's a few flowers coming on it as well now, which is really good news. So we'll just see how this one does. That strawberry planter that we had didn't have many leaves growing on it, but since the sun's come out, we've now got a flower, so we're on our way to getting some strawberries from this as well. The mint container has also shot up, looking really well, and above it is the pansy basket that we made, that a week ago had no flowers on it, and now it's starting to open its flowers and it's looking really colourful. And of course we've got all those brassicas now sat on top. Cabbages, cauliflowers, Brussels and broccoli. They're looking really well, so hopefully we can get some of these in beds quite soon. That viola basket's gone mad. Absolutely full of flowers and looking really well. And this potato plant, again we put it in a container. Over the last week has shot up a little bit, so I've buried that a little bit more. And then we have 2 salad pots down here as well. Looking okay, still growing a little bit slow, but I'm pretty sure they're going to pick up quite soon. Well, I potted on an Acer as well this week, and we put this golden raspberry into its own container and built a frame for it. Then we have this container. This has got peas growing in it. These are Alderman peas, which are going to be growing up this railing and then down the other side. And we interplanted that with a bit of salad and some spinach. Potatoes have now come through on this container as well, so that's all good. And then we did this bath, which we're just experimenting with, and we've put in snowball onions around the edge. We've put 3 cauliflowers in there, a bit of spinach and 2 outdoor tomato plants as well. And then we've got this kiwi, which we've now moved outside. Don't want it getting too hot and drying out in greenhouse, and it's starting to get little buds on it now. And of course we've got our French bean planter. This has been out already for a few days now, and although it did drop down to 3 degrees last night, it's not hurting. In fact, you can see they started to get fresh growth on top already, and we're going to be letting these climb up these canes right at the top. And as raspberry is looking healthy as well, just in the right place, again with its own little cane frame built, and that's got another shoot coming out at the bottom there, so that's on its way. Here we've got some coriander. That's the old growth right there. We stuck it out here, getting a bit of water, and now we've got all this fresh growth coming on top. And the strawberry plants. We're getting lots of flowers on these now, so I'm hoping we should be getting some strawberries quite soon. And they're just in this old ladder that we converted into a planter. And at the bottom, that's that lettuce basket. And to be fair, I think these look more ready than the ones we've just looked at, so I think we might be getting an harvest from these quite soon. Looking very vibrant. So as you saw there and in here, everything seems to be coming along really well now, just for that extra bit of light and a few degrees warmer. So I think it's full on motoring from here, and we're going to start and get loads more stuff in that container garden and in the tunnels outside as well. So thanks for watching this video, I really do appreciate it. And if you want to see the progress of all the plants out there and what's in the container garden, just hit that subscribe button and press the notifications bell, and I'll see you all next time. Thank you very much for watching.